Alright, so he's got an unfired P365, Sig P365 micro 9mm. First shots, we're going to see if it's reliable.
Alright.
5 shots, no malfunctions.
No malfunctions. It's only 5 rounds.
Now the sky.
5 rounds.
What do you
I
think
just
about?
suck.
What do you think about the 365 so far?
I think it has a stronger recoil spring than the Sky does, but I think the Sky is lighter overall. But I mean, it's relatively light on recoil, but I mean, it's good. A lot of people are going to complain about the trigger, but since I'm used to double actions, like these double action onlys or something like that, I think it's pretty light personally. But it's not a bad pistol, but I mean, there's some things to talk about, because when this first came out, a lot of people were like, oh, it's some holy magic that's fitting 10 rounds into this magazine. Well, apparently people weren't looking at the magazines right, because it's the same thickness as the 320 magazines on the bottom. However, you know, it just gets thin at the top. It's not magic. It's just dimensions. Just playing with dimensions, thin metals, tiny follower. It's not rocket science. So, yeah, there's a few things to cover with this pistol, and also sacrificing durability in the mag well. It's thinning out the mag well. The internals are very similar in the mag wells. So, yeah, I just need to pull out a size gauge and kind of see what the dimensions are on the inside, but these magazines are pretty much the same size. So, yeah, I mean, 365, I think it's actually a pretty good deal, because you are getting night sights. A lot of people still love night sights. I've kind of broken away from that. I would go for fiber optics personally, but you get night sights. It's a pretty good deal for, what, $500-600 or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good deal. The only thing I would say is Sig kind of needs to fix their QC issues, the firing pin breaking, and the other little issues. But as I said, when I went to SHOT Show, when you start reducing size, you're going to start having to play with sacrificing reliability and durability. That's just the way it is. There is no free lunch in this world. Same with this gun. It punishes itself with every shot. And since this is on a chassis system, just like the Sky is, I mean, it's going to probably see the same issues. So, yeah, just got to put enough rounds through it to actually see that. But, anyways, that's my review.
Alright, see if you can get it to malfunction. Just fire full magazine. Reliable so far.
Yeah.
Right out of the box, too. We haven't even cleaned it or anything, just right out of the box.
I would expect that it would be fine with that. I don't know of many issues where, at least the newer ones, aren't really having reliability issues. It's more the durability after like the 500 round mark. So I wouldn't actually expect function to be an issue. The extractor is actually pretty tight. That's typically the first sign when you're going to start having issues. The magazine springs are pretty good. It's holding the rounds in pretty well, so I don't think you're going to get any true double feeds where, you know, it's going to kick one into the magazine or whatever. The trigger is actually, it feels pretty tight when you actually go slow, so I don't think that it's really going to have too many, it doesn't have any real spring issues that I can feel just from messing with it. So, I don't know, I think it's actually a pretty good buy if you're a Sig fanatic, but you do need to be aware of the problems that some people are having, and just be ready for that. You might want to have a 1,000 round amnesty period with this pistol. That's just what I would say. But I don't think it's a bad buy if you are into striker fired market. So I wouldn't turn this away. This would probably be one of my first choices. So, that's what I think.
Sweet.
Now that went almost at 6 o'clock.
Right down there, yeah. It's right.
Okay, so.
Is that it? Okay.
It's an old piece.
Try it again.
Alright, so I'll move over a little bit closer to you. Since it's looking like my reloads are kicking them up pretty hard. There's one.
Right there.
Yeah, we got a bit of striker drag, so I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got a little bit of striker drag, so we'll go ahead and see if this is consistent.
Right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's
More.
a pretty hard strike too.
Wow.
It hits pretty hard. Now, overall, is this really an issue? It could be if they haven't fixed their QC, because I think that's actually one of the issues. Maybe it's actually not a QC issue. Maybe it's the right metal. But here's the thing. These simple machines are designed around spring and metallurgy harmony. So you got to have the right spring tension for everything to work well. So if you don't have enough hammer spring tension, you're not going to get it to strike the firing pin to hit the primer hard enough. And if you have a weak recoil spring, you know, it's not going to have enough force to prevent frame damage. It's all about harmony. So you learn that a lot, like if you're building an AR, you'll see like buffer tubes need to be the right harmony, the gas tube length, and all that other stuff has to be regulated. It's all about harmony with these simple machines, because that's basically all they are. So, anyways. Boop, boop, boop. Oh yeah. This one's more dramatic. It went down a little further.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Striker drag.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Huh.
So, yeah, before it even unlocks, I mean, it's protruding. It's not really protruding all that much. It's sort of a, I don't know if you can see that, the actual firing pin protrusion there, but it's sort of cone shaped, so I think that could prevent it from getting as much stress as a completely rounded one. But you know, I don't really know what to think about that.
It's pretty consistent, actually.
I mean, this one is just more dramatic. It's actually hitting the wall of it. I don't know, if you have a hard primer and stuff like that, it could probably end up being one of the reasons for the firing pin breakages that people have been having. But I guess that also depends on how much stress you're putting it under, temperatures you're shooting it at, and all these different variables. Metal is just a kind of a weird thing. So anyways, I don't know, take it for what it is. But if they've updated the metal to make it make it stronger, or I guess stronger for this situation or the type of stresses it's being put under, then it may not end up being an issue. But again, 1,000-round amnesty period, where you're not doing like one round every 10 seconds, but you're like machine gunning this thing and actually running it, that'll show any kind of real stresses on the gun. So that's how I like to break my guns in, is actually run them, and that's when I come up with issues and breakages. So but if you're shooting one round every 10 seconds and this is just a collector piece, you probably will never have an issue with it, because you're probably not going to shoot it. So, you know, but, yeah. So, there's that situation.
So, not as bad as the 365, that's for sure.
No. However, I think it also depends on the type of ammo you're shooting. That could be the case. Actually, that's a good idea, is to actually test this stuff a little lighter.
Oh, right.
So let's see if
it's
that actually has something to do with it, because maybe the more blowback it has, the less time it has to actually cool off before it comes back. I don't know.
It's not shooting as far either.
Nope.
Still doing it?
Pretty dramatic, actually.
Oh, yeah.
It actually scruffed off the brass, or scruffed off something from the metal from it. It actually turned silver. Look at that.
Wow.
It's like a piece of the firing pin came off, scuffed off with it. What the heck?
Huh.
Wow.
Got a little silver on there.
It's
Crazy.
I'm pretty sure it's not painted.
No.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, that's kind of sad, but I don't know, mate. I don't know if that's really something that would deter me from buying one, but it does kind of raise some questions. But I don't know. I'm kind of interested in checking out some of these other pistols and see if they get striker drag. This is kind of a new subject for me. I never really cared.
Yeah.
You know, just shoot it until it breaks, and that's all that really mattered.
Right.